It's a big challenge because you imagine interface is forever in inertia, flux, dynamic. A physical object is static. Once you experience it, it's done. Digital age goes on ad infinitum. But can I even at least bring the level of the physical to have an engagement, a connection that would afford a greater experience for a longer time? Now, we live in a disposable age. You have to admit it. We lease cars, we lease technology, we don't really own anything anymore. The world has completely changed. By the way, when I was speaking about the bathroom, that bathroom is all made of rubber. Completely. The bathtub rubber, everything rubber. Nobody in the business of that business has yet to have produced a bathroom in rubber. It's very easy to do. Isn't it great when you get in the bathtub, you can just kind of bounce? Anyway, going back to, where was I? Where was I? Alexi, help me.
In the bathroom.
No, I got out of the bathroom a while ago. Okay. So, universal dot. Oh, jeez. Okay. Yes. So, as the agenda of design is this notion of trying to go low-tech, meet high-tech, to try to bring the experience up, to try to speak and reflect the time we live in, to try to make a more comfortable, more casual age, to try to make an age that's based on contemporary criteria, to try to shape the future of the world. When I design an object now or space, and it's going to take 3 years or 5 years, I'm affected 5 years from now. I can't think about now. I can't see what do people like now. Because what people like now, they're not going to like in 5 years. So as I was saying, we lease automobiles, we lease information, we don't own anything anymore. Isn't it great? It's amazing how pharaohs and kings and I don't know, whatever, emperors buried themselves with gold and objects and things. People surrounded themselves and hoarded objects to give themselves a sense of immortality. That you could live forever because you have these things. Today, we don't have anything. We use it for a moment. It should be the best thing we could ever use. It's pleasurable, fantastic, raises an experience, and then we should change it and go to the next. That's the future of our human existence. Which means nothing should be permanent. Which means you can't design something that's, quote, classic. If a client comes to me and they say, oh, let's make a coffee table, but we want something classic. I go, what does that mean, classic? Classic means that I'm going to actually make classic style, which is really going into the past. And I think what they mean is modernism, maybe. But modernism is really over. So if I make a nice, clean rectangle, I go, okay, there you go, there's your classic table. What? Well, why do I want to make a rectangle? Everybody in this entire room can create a rectangle on a coffee table, big deal. So what? You've done nothing. You haven't reshaped the world, you haven't rethought anything, you haven't really pushed anybody, you haven't made people think about living a different way, you haven't really done anything. You haven't made a higher performance, better experience, nothing. So, gotta kind of drop that notion of style and work kind of in this contemporary milieu. And as we are living in this disposable age, this is the beauty. The beauty is that we realize that we are mortal, that we don't really need the way Muslims or Jews are buried. You're buried with nothing. A white sheet around you. The beauty of that is you're free. Because the reality is the less you have, the freer you are. The freer you are, the more you can create. Because you have to be very free in here to really create. The more you relinquish and let go of nostalgia, of even tradition, the fact that we fear losing traditions. I've never quite understood this. You know why? Most traditions that we fear losing we already lost because we created a kind of kitsch out of that tradition. For example, Christmas. Most people that celebrate Christmas have no idea even of the origins of it, and it's come down to an archetype of a tree and an archetype of some presents. What is that? Is that really a tradition anymore? No, it's become what they call a kitsch event. And the world becomes full of kitsch events because we think we're hanging on to tradition. Now, if we really hang on to tradition, that's one thing. So why don't we relinquish or let go of them? And I'm going to tell you quickly, when I was in university teaching in Philadelphia about 8-9 years ago, the music conservatory for classical music was going to close. And it was going to close because there was no enrollment for students. So I'm sitting with 50 faculty and they're all going, oh, it's terrible. How can we keep the department open? And wait. The school was building a 10-story new building dedicated to multimedia. 2 floors dedicated to digital music production. That's where the music's going. So don't worry. For every tradition we lose, we gain a new one. And that's human evolution. So I said to them all, I said to the faculty, why are we worried about this? There's digital music over here. And they had a hard time understanding that. Why? Because typically, as we get older, we become more and more myopic. We start to believe more and more in the past. But the reality is that the best world hasn't even come yet. Because we are not only living in the first time in 100,000 years of this kind of connectivity of humanity, and the breaking down of boundaries and borders, and making one poetic, beautiful world. It's only the beginning. So you as designers, or cultural shapers, which is more important, you have to go out there and extend this world into the future. Evolve it. Thank you.
Мария поможет, да?